Reportedly worried about getting paid. A lot of people still questioning whether Elon Musk should or should not go. Joining us now is Henrik Fisker, Chair and CEO of Fisker Incorporated, the electric car people. Henrik, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stuart.
So, should Elon Musk go, or at least move away from his current role as CEO and go into a corner and be a visionary? Should he do that?
Well, Stuart, if Henry Ford would have been ousted and replaced by a Joe Block, then we probably wouldn't have had Ford today and we wouldn't have had an automotive revolution. To run a business of a startup company from beginning to its well-oiled machine is extremely complex, and there's no resume out there which can do that. So I would say, you have to run. There has to be the founder, the guy who understands the insights, the complex decisions that can be part of the development of the vehicle that has to run it. For sure, I'll be running Fisker until we are well-oiled machines. And the fact is, today there is no profit that is at that point where you can just hire a CEO. I have myself tried it before, where I hired two CEOs, and in the end I got the blame for the decisions they were making, and they just weren't able to do it. So it's just not possible to find somebody to run a car company while it's in the startup phase.
Okay, you know what you're talking about, that's for sure, because you're the man behind Fisker Electric, so you know what you're doing. I do want to ask you about demand for electric cars, and I know you're very, very high-end electric cars, so I'm kind of separating you out from the rest of the pack. But I see that in last year, 2017, there are only 199,000 electric cars sold in the United States. We got 18 million vehicles were sold in America last year. That's a very, very slim sliver of the marketplace. There's not that much demand, is there?
Well, I think demand has to do with the products that is offered. And right now, we just don't have a desirable product offering. So, for instance, you said we are high-end. Well, that's where the initial market is. But we actually have partnered up with one of the largest OEMs in the world to introduce a high-volume vehicle that will be affordable, that will be profitable, and we will offer different variations. So I think once we have desirable, exciting, affordable vehicles on the market, there will be demand for them. And it will also happen because we have many countries outside the U.S. which are forcing the growth of electric vehicles with various incentives, and some countries might even ban gasoline and diesel sales, and that will force the electric vehicles coming forward, not only in the U.S. but outside the U.S.
Henrik, I don't particularly like being forced to buy a car which the government thinks is good for me and the planet. Can't we just get to a point where I can buy whichever car I can afford and government get out of the way? Wouldn't you like that?
Absolutely, and that's why I'm saying that here in the U.S. we will have desirable products that actually people want to buy, and they're not available in a large scale today. There's maybe one or two choices of an electric vehicle below $40,000, and they may not. There is many variations that are not available. There isn't any electric SUV, electric minivan, etc. So the limited choice is one of the reasons that we don't see large-scale sales of electric vehicles, as well as the pricing. And that's why we have gone forward and made a partnership with a large OEM to actually increase the volume of the electric vehicle parts, because that's one of the issues, and get those prices down and be able to create a profitable high-volume vehicle.
Okay. The administration is pushing back the timetable for these tariffs on cars coming here from Europe and from Mexico. It's kind of a pause in the tariff trade deal, disagreement here. What do you think?
Well, tariffs really is not good in any sense, and they were originally made to make it possible for some countries to create new technologies in their own country, and it's kind of now reversed into becoming something to protect an aging industry or an inferior product. So in the end of the day, tariffs are not good, and I think, of course, in the U.S. we are creating the newest, best technology, which means we are always a threat when we export our products. But in the end of the day, people still buy the U.S. products because they're the best, even if there's some tariffs on it. But eventually, I think we need to get rid of all tariffs, or they got to be equal. And right now, they're not equal, and I think that is a problem.
Got it. Henrik Fisker, pleasure to have you on the show, sir. And one last question, real fast. How much was that very fancy electric Fisker that we saw on the screen? How much?
Well, we sold it for around $100,000, but our next vehicle, the high volume, be less than $40,000.
Okay, so that's on the screen. That's $100,000.
That's
okay,
40,
Henrik,
though.
thanks for being with us, sir. Always appreciate it. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Stuart.